Horns Up Talking Texas podcast. Horns take on Colorado State, the 7-seed Horns, the 10-seed Colorado State. Game happens today. March Madness begins. Very exciting stuff. We also have the Texas Pro Day to discuss. We'll talk March Madness real quick. It's going to be a tough one for the boys. When push comes to shove, this obviously you always read a bazillion stats during March Madness, but the stat I saw of our team when Dylan Disu scores 10 plus points, which is pretty often, we are 11-5. When he doesn't, not so good. Ace Miss Disu, Hunter, it's the story. We're the streaky team. We're the team that has to get hot and do some damage. And quite honestly, I think we're capable. I mean, look, man, Colorado State's a really strong team, right? They are probably a disrespected 10 seed. They were a playing team. We wanted Virginia. Virginia has a middle school offense. Clearly, as we saw yesterday, they can't get anything going. They scored 42 points. I had to double check myself. I mean, 14 in the first half is absolutely pathetic. Whoever's listening, we could have gotten a group of people together. I mean, there's a lot of people listening, but we could have picked the 10 best, maybe the 10 worst people here. We probably could have put up 42 points. Clifford, Scott, 23-11. Clifford's a guard. He had 17, 10, and 6. I mean, this Colorado State team, they can move, they can rebound, which doesn't necessarily bode well for us, in my personal opinion, watching the games. But look, I mean, we say this all the time. If Ace Miss, Hunter, and obviously Disu are cooking, we could hang with anybody. If they're not, we can hang with nobody. You know, we go as far as those guys go. It's going to be a really interesting matchup. The Mountain West Conference is tough. I mean, people forget Colorado State was the top 15 team at one point this year. There's 6 teams in the Mountain West Conference in March Madness. I know there's a boatload of Big 12 teams, and the Big 12 always gets to respect as being the quote-unquote now toughest college basketball conference. Obviously, Houston being a 1 seed, Kansas is limping in, but they're a 4 seed in our region. I think they're also being pretty disrespected. TCU also in our region, and people are hyping them up to be Utah State and to maybe even take down Purdue Boilermakers, who no one has any faith in. Look, if we win, we beat Colorado State, assuming Tennessee takes care of business. And look, 3 years in a row, a 1 or a 2 seeds lost in the first round. Rick Barnes matchup should be pretty fun, right? It's a great storyline. But we just got to take it one game at a time. Unfortunately, it's not like last year where that team was really a team that could have not won it all. That UConn team was too good, but it gone to the Final Four. Should have maybe gone to the Final Four and at least put up a fight against the UConn Huskies. But here we are, man. Again, look, Ace Miss is battle tested, and he's done it with Oral Roberts. He's been one of those guys that has taken down a 2 seed as Oral Roberts 15 seed. Ohio State a couple of years ago. I'm just doming that. And Disu is, when he's on, plays his best basketball. So it's one of those situations where I feel we can really only beat ourselves. So we'll see. I'm obviously the optimist, obviously drinking the Kool-Aid, thinking our team, the boys, get it done. We're the favorite. We're the 7 seed. In projections, we were supposed to be an 8-9 seed. We were one of the more overseeded teams, as they're saying. There's overseeded teams and underseeded teams. Colorado State, I believe, is actually an underseeded team. So it's kind of a juicy matchup for that 10-7 upset, which could become kind of common in this tournament. There's a lot of 10-7 games where I prefer the 10 seed Nevada over Dayton, Drake over Wazoo, and Colorado over Florida for sure. Colorado is a disrespected 10 seed, in my opinion, as well. So the 10 seeds actually might reign supreme here. But again, we could play with anybody when we're playing, right? We played with Houston. We beat Baylor, who's a 3 seed. I think they're in trouble come second round if they see New Mexico on that side of the bracket, but they're nonetheless a 3 seed, right? There were a couple games where we got blown out, but there's a lot of games that were in this thing. There's a lot of games, that we should have taken care of business and should have closed the door. And that's obviously a bit disconcerting, heading into March Madness. But I have faith to Sue and Ace Miss show up, at least in the first round, get it done, and get us to the round of 32. And then we're talking about a matchup versus Tennessee. It's all about the offense. So we'll see how that goes. Feeling confident in the boys.